Hello.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another wonderful episode of the Diaspora Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today, we have a young entrepreneur in our space right now who is going to be telling us about herself and how she's coping with the current situation that we all are going through. We have an International Achievers Award winner for the best event organizer, a young CEO, and a founder of a chain of events limited. Hanan Atmani, a young entrepreneur, founder of her own company with 10 years of experience in managing, coordinating, running, and delivering events for minor and major organizations, from gala dinners and weddings to major corporate events and seminars. Hanan, welcome to this episode.
Hi, Victor. Thanks for having me.
How's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very, very good. I'm very good. The thing is, just
good.
Given the current situation, we all are just kind of being swamped with work and doing actually what we love because of the lockdown. So.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
And how is the lockdown affecting you right now, regards family and so?
Do you know what? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it has affected my business. And you know, I have several events that have obviously been cancelled, rescheduled. Some inquiries that I've got are now put on pause. So yeah, it definitely has affected my business big time.
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, because you've won this award. So what's your story like?
So I basically got a passion from events when I was 18. I've never had any sort of background or anything in the event industry. I used to work in a restaurant as a waitress. Kind of loved what I did actually, and then I got a passion through, you know, just being very particular in the restaurant. So I found my passion through loving hospitality and organising, and realised, oh, I'm quite good at this. So I, at a young age, at the age of 18, decided to set up a business. And at the time, you know, I had no idea, no clue about business, you know, just being like 18, you know, what did I know at that point? So yeah, I set up a business, and then I set up a couple of other businesses as well. And then obviously I've been in business for about 10 years now. And yeah, what else do you need to know about me?
Yeah, that's good, because you know, you kind of bold, because most 18 years old will be waiting and be waiting for the right opportunity, or for someone to come and give them that pump to go on. But you took the steps. So how did you know that because the hospitality industry is so large, and you kind of how did you know that you actually like organizing stuff?
Well, I guess because I worked in a restaurant, I knew at that point that, you know, I was really good at certain things that people always, you know, noticed. And then I was like, oh, actually, yeah, I am quite good at this. And, you know, I'd always, when I was young, you know, my parents used to work really, really hard. So, you know, they used to work so many hours. And, you know, my mum would always say, like, you know, learn to cook. This is what you need to do. You know, when we get back home, we're going to have dinner ready. You know, you have to have the dinner ready. So I used to be like, oh my gosh. So I used to just like set the table up, and I used to just love just setting the table up for our dinner. I kind of knew at that point, and I was like 12, you know, I was actually 12 years. I remember being 12 and thinking, oh, I love this. So to be honest, I always used to think that I was going to actually open up my own restaurant, or, you know, do something with hospitality. And I was only 12. So didn't have no clue, obviously, when I got to 18, that I actually was going to set up my own events company. But I'd say I definitely got a passion from so early on, where I just loved it. I just loved being able to set the table, the plates, the napkins, and everyone used to come home and be like, oh, this looks really nice. And, you know, so I used to feel like, oh yeah, and I just found a passion in doing it all the time. So, and then when I worked in the restaurant, I guess I gained a lot of experience from sales to, customer service to being confident to speak to people as well. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful story, because I could kind of relate to that. Not everyone needs to be. Sometimes you just need to follow your passion and take the bold step to see where it leads, and wherever it leads, you've learned a lot, because you've opened a couple of businesses, and failure is just part of the journey. So, and you've managed to like know what you actually want, which is what majority of the population don't even know what they want. If you ask them, they don't know. But you, at the age of 18, you actually knew what you want, and you went straight for it. Do you have any, thinking back now, would you have any regrets?
No, definitely not. I mean, I used to always hear everyone saying, you're born to do this, and now I understand what that means. When I'm in action, when I'm doing what I love, it's literally why I wake up every day, and I kind of know the true understanding now when people say you were born to do this. My best friend always used to say that to me: you were born to do this, you're born to do this, and I'm like, yeah, I was.
That's great. We'll be forever grateful to our support structure and people who like make us go the extra mile and believe in us.
Definitely.
Yeah, believe in us.
Yeah.
So how
no regrets.
Yeah, you've been running your business now for 10 years, and it is a more physical business now. So how is it going?
Yeah, so I mean, there is a bit of a story behind that, because I haven't actually been running it for 10 years. I kind of like obviously set up the company when I was 18. I started organizing events. I found myself doing quite a lot of charity work. I did some stuff for a council once as well. So, I got quite a lot of good experience. I mean, I have come from a background of no experience, by the way. Never done a course, never studied, never read about events. I just basically had to try and figure it out. And, I did get to a point where, I decided this is what I want to do. So that's why obviously I set up the business. And at that point, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't have that much support. I didn't have that much help. I had no clue, obviously, what I was doing. So, I kind of lost a lot of confidence at that point. I've always been a confident person, but I just lost confidence with that in particular part of setting up my business. I set it up, but then I didn't know what to do next. And I think what happened was I allowed a lot of people to make me feel a certain way about myself, in the sense of doubting myself. To be honest, the event industry like 12 years ago was very, 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 very difficult. It wasn't a very easy market to get involved with. What I mean by that is, compared to now, and I don't think it's just because I've grown knowledge and I've grown as a person. I just think the people have changed now. There's more people that are a bit more, nicer. They're a bit more understanding. Maybe they're a bit more of a younger crowd. I don't know. But back then, I'd call up and try and do some research or get some information. And what I found is that, no one was really taking me serious. They'd not really speak to me with respect, or it wasn't a very nice experience. So I actually put my business on hold, and I'd set up another business that I run, and that became successful and very in demand. So I then guess that I put my passion, my dream on hold, and then decided to go for an easier option. So I kind of regret that in a way, because obviously, no, well, at the time I regretted it, like, oh, this is a shame. But then when I then decided, that's it, 2-3 years ago, I thought that's enough. I'm going to go back to doing my events company again. I'm going to restart this. I've been loyal to it. I did say I was going to go back, and now I feel is the right time to go back. So I actually then decided you know, nothing's going to stop me this time. And I guess I didn't have a regret doing that, because I'd realized I was a better person, and I knew that this time I'm not going to give up on my dream, and I'm going to go this time in and not give up and just continue to grow and grow and grow and do my very best to, you know, to actually make a success of this company.
So you went out and you came back in, and so how did you gain your respect back? Because you decided to come back, and like this time you were going all the way in. So how did you gain your respect back that people need to like respected you?
To be honest, I think that I stopped caring what people thought about me, and I thought, well, do you know what? This is what I want to do, and I'm going to get there no matter what. So no matter what anyone says or does, I don't really care, because, you know, I'm setting up a business. This is my business. It's my passion. I'm going to give it everything. And I think that this passion that I have and this skill is just something that's within me. So as I said, I've never gone out there and been, I mean, up until now, I meet so many people and they've seen my work, they see my events, and they think I've been doing this like, you know, for 20 years or something, or, you know, and I'm like, no, like, I've got no experience. Like, I've not studied, I've not done a course. I don't even read books about events. I mean, I know I should. I actually, you know, I think knowledge and studying is key in anything that you do. So, you know, that's something that I'm going to start exploring, because I think it's always good to study and get knowledge on your industry. But I've never needed to get to where I am today. So I just think it's a skill that I have within me. And I guess it's just like I said before, you know, I guess I was just born to do it, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You know,
So I think, sorry. So yeah. So with regards to the respect, I guess I you know, I'm respected by so many people. You know, they appreciate and respect everything that I do for them, from the moment I organise their events to, you know, going the extra mile. They appreciate that. I haven't actually come across any customers since I've actually started my business. I've probably come across a few issues, but they weren't issues that I made. They're probably just issues about them not being clear on their purpose, or sticking to what they promised, in the sense of, you know, they want to put an event on and then decided that, you know, they didn't have enough funding, or they didn't have this or that. So, you know, but overall, like, you know, it's the customers really that just continue to keep motivating me more and more, because they really respect and appreciate what I do, and you can see it, and they also tell you. And I think for me, that's one of the biggest difference in what I do now compared to what I was doing back then.
wow, that's a great mind shift. And
Definitely.
and currently, given the our current situation that we are right now, social distancing, elbow, all this kind of stuff. So how are you coping? What is the way forward now?
So, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think, like everyone, this has hit us hard. I think at first people weren't obviously taking it serious and thinking, oh, I'm not going to be affected. And, you know, and I actually then realized, wow, this is affecting everyone. Everyone is affected, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter how much money you've got, you know, no matter how happy you was, we all affected. So, you know, you know, the first week I was a bit like dwelling and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What, you know, and I think that obviously crossed everyone's mind, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But to be honest, that didn't really last long. I had to kind of like immediately snap out of it, because I knew that if I carried on feeling like that, then I'm going to allow it to get the better of me. So I had to pause and block it out and say to myself, do you know what? I'm just grateful right now, because I have a home, I have a roof, I have food, I have a family, a supportive family, I have great friends, you know, so you start looking at what you're really grateful for. And I then decided, you know, I'm not going to sit here dwelling about what's going on right now in the world. You know, I know it can't be ignored, but you can think outside the box. And I guess, again, from a young age, I've always been one of these people that kind of always think outside the box. You know, what can I do? You know, so I basically decided that now was the right time to pursue another project that I have always been very passionate about. I just hadn't got around actually setting it up yet, which is another service that I'll be providing as well as organising my events. So I came up with an idea last year that I wanted to create a step-to-step guide on how, you know, I mean, I've always been a person that always loves to help people. And, you know, I always think, well, sometimes we just help people from the goodness of our hearts. It could be for any issues that they have. And then I realized, you know what, I've got so much skills, so much things that I can use to implement, you know, these skills into actually helping other people. So, you know, I came across a lot of people that kept saying, oh, you know, I'm putting an event on, I don't know where to start, I'm stuck, you know, I want to be like you, you know, I wish I was you know, because you know, when you organize these events, you don't look stressed, you know, you seem like you really enjoy it, and I don't know where to start. So a lot of these people are obviously might be people with an idea, they might be like new businesses, they might be people that's got no budget, you know, or they could be organizations that actually do have a massive budget, but they just never done it. So they just don't know what it feels like to put their first company awards ceremony on. So I decided to, you know what, create something of all of my experiences that I have within me that I've known for the last 12 years of my life. And really, I guess it's more, it really kind of goes back to more than 12 years, really, when you think about it. But I just thought, you know what, let me just write this all down, put it all into this guide, and just basically work on it and create something that people can navigate and use as a step to step for them to actually follow in order to help them, you know, help them feel that they can actually use this guide with their idea and show them how they can create that idea into a reality, and by using and navigating their way through this step-to-step guide. So yeah, so I used this time to finally create that guide. It was a lot of work, put it this way. I already had, like I said, you know, some of the notes that I'd already put together last year, but due to just being busy, being a bit like laid back about it, just never, you know, never decided to create it until now. So I'm so happy in a way that I'm not looking at lockdown as anything negative in my life right now, because had it not been for lockdown, I probably would have just been still busy organising events, running around with inquiries, doing this, doing that. I probably wouldn't have had a chance. I know I would have, I know for a fact I would have definitely done it because it's one of my goals. So I would have definitely achieved it by the end of this year. But this has given me more of a time to put it together, and also, you know, work on it a bit harder because I've got more time. And so yeah, I just actually utilize my time to create this guide, put it together. I had my first ever event for it last week, and it went to a great success. um, and yeah, like, people have been buying the guide. I've been getting some really good feedback about it as well. You know, people have come back saying there's a lot of really good information here. So, you know, it's probably a bit too early to say, but I'm hoping that, you know, down the line, people will see a lot of value in this guide, and hopefully it's going to help many people that do have a great idea and that just don't have the confidence to move forward. Because believe me, I have come across so many people, and, you know, and the fact that I put my business on hold because I didn't believe in myself at the time that I could do it, you know, gives me more motivation now to help these people not be like me, you know, to how I was back then. So, you know, I'm more passionate now to help as many people to do that as well, and then also offer any consultancy that they need and any support that they need to put that event together.
Oh, that's great. That's great. See, so can you just walk us through the steps, just for those who haven't had the time to like download the guide, or just walk us through the steps? How many steps are there?
So it's basically it's a step-to-step guide, and it's the 7 Ps, which is the way that I've done it is like a 7. Actually, let me just get it. So I basically created a for the 7 Ps event success wheel. So how I've done it is, I kind of like, created this based on 7 Ps because I thought it was quite a good, smart idea to create this. And I kind of thought of all the steps that I take in, in basically what I need to do when I have to create that event. So I had to kind of like walk myself through the whole story from like literally from, from the start to the finish. So the first P is purpose, which is all about, creating events that work for you. Also, I kind of go in a little bit about, what is your purpose behind this event that you want to put together. What, again, I've been finding is that people come up with these great ideas, but they don't know why they want to do it. And I kind of believe that, the first part of this wheel really gets you thinking. I really want them to start thinking deeply. I want you to get an idea and explore it and go deep. It's not just about having an idea. Don't wake up today with an idea and then decide that the first thing you're going to do is call a venue to see if the venue is available for your event. No. This is not the way. And I believe me, I've come across so many people that actually think it is the way forward, but it's not. So the first P is purpose. The second part is presentation. That kind of, it's all about designing an outstanding event. So it talks about how your event's going to look. And I've got the next P, which is places, finding the perfect event venue. Planning is the next P, making your event happen. So it talks all about the planning part. However, people always think that the planning part is the most difficult part. However, if you follow the other parts to do with purpose, presentation, and plays, you'll actually find that the planning part is actually the best part, the easiest part, and probably the most part that you're going to enjoy and make fun. Because people always get stressed out when they're doing the planning because they think, oh my God, it's stressful and stuff. So, this guide, will show you that when you do get to the planning part, you want to enjoy it. That's the key. Stress is not, being all over the place and disorganized is not, being confused is not. So yeah, so the planning part there is quite fun. Then you've got promotion. We all know obviously how delivering events, effective events, in order to make it effective, you need to be promoting to the right audience, to the right platforms. So there's many options there that you can consider to explore. You might not want to use all of them, but there's going to be something in there for everyone, unless you want to use all of the methods. Production, we talk about the important elements of production there, which, kind of more about the day. It talks about the day, it talks about your technical side of things. Sometimes, again, I come across a lot of people and they're like, oh, I have no idea what I need in this event. It's a presentation we've got, or it might be an award ceremony, or whatever it is. They don't know what they need in order to design that event together, such as, what type of like AV, audio visual equipment they need, like microphones, lighting, all this kind of stuff. But, so I kind of get them thinking about that, but also, putting some of my examples in there, but also teaching that, I'm not a very technical person myself. So obviously I've got to where I am today by learning and getting the knowledge. But I tell you what actually did help me is not reading books. What helped me was when I was speaking to these people, like venues, and and I was like, I want to speak to your tech guy. I wanna find out what I need, and then I get my knowledge from them. I learn from them. So basically that's how it goes. And then the last P is people, which is all about your team. It's all about your people. It kind of goes more into your team on the day, you know, and how important your team are to your event. Because obviously your event's not going to be able to go forward if it isn't for your team. So yeah, so that's all my P's that I've put on the 7 P's events wheel. Yeah, I just feel that it's a great, it's a great method. And what's good about this method is that it is not just a method for you to use now for one event. It's something that, if you do it properly, you could literally use it over and over and over again for any event and just get bigger and better each time.
Yeah, that's great. You see, because me, I don't run physical events. I run visual summits. So what you just mentioned now, it's the 7 P's that you mentioned now are quite in line with what I do when I put out my own summits. So because first of all, you don't just come up with an idea that I need to do this summit. I need to do an event or run. You need to know the purpose why you're actually doing it. Because without that, if you know why you're doing it, you kind of like, when the chips are down, you kind of like say, okay, you like talk yourself back into it. I'm doing it because I want to serve more of these people. These people actually need this event to like, they would actually gain more from the event. So the purpose, the presentation, the look is great. You cannot overemphasize that or like. But the thing is, where mine is different, given where we are right now.
Yeah.
So this can be used this can be adapted into running an online event because you wrote places here. So when you mean places, yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like feel that right now, what I've been advising a lot of people that have been buying this guide, and some of the people that I've been obviously helping for them to take their event idea to the next level. I've been trying to just show them that, just because we've got all this stuff going on right now due to lockdown, don't just put your idea on hold. There's a lot of work that needs to be done before that day comes to a reality. So use this time to go through the guide. Use this time, because just your purpose part of the guide, it doesn't just talk about your why. It also goes into like your objectives. It goes into your it kind of goes a bit more deep into like research, so there's a lot of things in there. It's not just about what's my reason why I want to do this event, so just that in itself, just that part could literally take you some time. The research part is going to take you some time, because anytime you do something good and you want to do it well, the key is research. Research is not just going to come within a day. You want to spend at least a week or two putting some research in place, because if you can do all of that, you actually will be surprised that afterwards your idea that you originally had might change and become better than what you originally thought of it. And look at the potential around it and think, oh, I didn't actually think of that. You might have explored that idea through the research that you've done. So what will actually happen is you become knowledgeable and also creative. And from my experience, when I've come up with an idea, that's what normally happens. So what I have been saying to people is, follow this guide, write your plan, write your events plan using this guide, because by the time you get to the end of it, that could be another month, so at the end of the day, you then have that ready. So when lockdown is done and you're ready to choose that day for your event, then you will actually already have most of the work done, because then you're just ready to go into the next part and make it a reality. The other thing I've been advising people is to be using, obviously, online, virtual, and networking to build a network. So I've been saying to people, use this time to build a network, okay? There's so many ways you can do that. You can set up a private Facebook group. You can like let everyone know what this group is. You can let them know about your event idea. You can obviously let them know that, due to everything that's going on, you don't have a day, but, for anyone that's interested, I'm going to add you into this group. just use that group to sort of like network, get to know people, get to know your audience. Because believe me, if you could give them, you know, spend a little bit more time with your like network and building that and giving them that little personal, you know, kind of personal approach. You know, don't just add them into your group. You know, I keep saying to people, stop adding people. I get this every day. Someone just randomly adding me to their group. So send me a message and just, you know, just say, oh, Hanan, like, can I, you know, is it okay if I can add you to my group because I've got this or I've got that, you know. It's just going to take you like a minute conversation. Don't add people into your group that are not going to buy your product or they're not even thinking about that. So spend some time building the right connections and the right network with what you're trying to do, so that when you do come to that day when you've chosen a venue, then the first people that you're going to put that that date out to is your network. So, because they're going to be already aware of it and they're already aware of who you are and following your journey, and you've built a good relationship with every single one of them in this group. So what I have been saying is, you know, do things like online as well, like get on a Zoom call, you know, have a group of these people in this group, get them together, start talking, you know, put some events on, and then, you know, I just think that when you do get to that stage, when it comes to the end of your, you know, time when you know you're ready, it's just going to be so much easier for you because you've already got an audience. So those are your customers.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I really like what you said, because you need to like start promoting your stuff before the event before the event goes live, and start reaching out to people, do your personal networking, and research is very key. So
I tell people to do that, you know, well before, even at the stages when they got an idea, because, you know, lockdown or no lockdown, I just think it, you know, you've got enough time now to do that during this time, but it's still a method moving forward, you know, when lockdown's over and we're all back to life, back to normal life. Just carry on that method, because you know, those are the people, those are your audience. So you know, I always say there's loads of people that I come across that say, you know, there's kind of like really two main people that come across in my life that say to me, I've got an idea and I'm stuck, don't know what to do. And I have another set of people that say, I had an idea, I put an event on and it wasn't successful. No one attended, you know, poor management, wasn't professionally done, didn't have the right venue, didn't look good, you know, didn't have a microphone, like all these little things. And, you know, this guide would definitely help them understand what they need in order to put something together. And if they can't, you know, then not saying they won't be ready for it, there are still other ways to make that a reality. Doesn't matter how much your budget is, doesn't matter, you know, who you are, where you are, it, you know, it can still happen. If it's your goal and if it's your dream, you can still make it happen.
That's great. That's great. So yeah, and is there a checklist on the guide?
So what I've done with the guide is sometimes I've been putting some offers on where they I do have like some templates that they can use. So I've got like an agenda template, I've got a budget planner, like master plan, checklist and action. So it's already there and designed for them. All they need to do is basically just add to it, you know, as they go along, because every event's going to be different, you know. People who's buying this guide could be, you know, people that having different market, you know. So you might have somebody who basically is putting an event on to raise awareness to do with mental health, and then you can have somebody else who's basically putting this event on because they are a network marketing company. They're two different clients, they're two different audience that you're going to have. So, you know, you're going to obviously adjust it and change it based on your client, you know, your audience, and your checklist will always change, because every event that you have, there's always going to be a different requirement, a different list on that checklist.
Wow, that's great. So Yes, as we're rounding up, if they want to get in touch with you, how would they? Someone's very interested in what you're giving out, your guide, and they want to
Yeah.
like continue this conversation. How would they get in touch with you?
So there's loads of ways you can get in contact with me. You can email me. Okay, so the email address is Hanan, my first name, Hanan, at, and then the name of the company, achainofevents.co.uk. If you want to contact us on by website, it's www.achainofevents.co.uk.
All right, that's great. So, guys, if you want to like continue this conversation with Hanan, just reach out to her on the various avenues that she has mentioned, through her email, website, through her Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can get through to her, and the company logo is so that the company logo is the profile picture, so you actually know you're at the right place. So, any last word for us?
Yeah, just thank you so much for this interview, and I just hope that people obviously do contact me if they do have an idea. Doesn't matter how crazy they think their idea is or how little they think their idea is, just contact me. Let me try and help you with that idea, and then I'm sure then I will obviously speak to you first before you even buy the guide, to just make sure that this guide is actually also for you as well. And if not, then maybe you might need to obviously get some more support, which I'm sure I'll be able to help you, because I do actually offer other support as well. At the moment, I'm in the process of helping a lady that lives in America, and she wants to set up an events company, and reached out to me. So I've been mentoring her and helping her through her journey. And that's also going great. So she's at that stage now where she's registered her company and she started to do some, social media marketing and stuff. So yeah, I'm really proud of her. So there's a lot that I can help you with as well.
All right, great. So guys, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and most especially subscribe to this podcast. Share it with your friends. And if you know that there's someone who actually needs this message, who needs this guide, don't forget, share this message with them so that they can get in touch with Hanan. And yeah, let's create a better event in the future and start planning right now. Do your research, follow the steps that she has said. And if you want to take a conversation forward, just go ahead and reach out to her directly and she'll respond, and you guys can talk it through, talk your ideas through, and you can create a successful summit, a successful event. And who knows, most especially you can create a great relationship between you and Hanan. And I wish everyone a good time right now, because we are on this lockdown, and obviously we would need support from each other. So start building your social capital, according to one of my friends, one of my previous guests. Start building your social capital right now. Start networking and keep networking and keep networking. And I believe the future is for networkers. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you for listening to us. All right, Hanan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye, everyone. Bye.